Learn English with an audiobook.
Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Cap.
Part 1, 2 times English pronunciation.
Turn on subtitles in your native language if you need.
Let's begin. Once upon a time, there was an adorable little girl. Once upon a time, there was an adorable little girl who was loved by everyone who knew her, but most of all, by her grandmother. Who was loved by everyone who knew her, but most of all, by her grandmother. And she would have done anything for the girl. And she would have done anything for the girl. One day, her grandmother made her a red cape with a hood. One day, her grandmother made her a red cape with a hood. That suited her so well that she never wanted to wear anything else. That suited her so well that she never wanted to wear anything else. And that's why everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. And that's why everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her. One day, her mother said to her.
Come, Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma is sick and weak. Come, Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma is sick and weak. Take her this basket, there is a bottle of wine and a cake inside. Take her this basket, there is a bottle of wine and a cake inside. But remember, go straight to your grandmother's house. But remember, go straight to your grandmother's house. And don't talk to strangers on the way. And don't talk to strangers on the way. Be very careful when you go into the forest. Be very careful when you go into the forest. And when you go into her bedroom, don't forget to say, "Good morning." And when you go into her bedroom, don't forget to say, "Good morning."
Don't worry, I will do everything right,
Said Little Red Riding Hood.
Don't worry, I will do everything right.
Said Little Red Riding Hood. Grandma lived far off in the heart of the forest. Grandma lived far off in the heart of the forest. When Little Red Riding Hood reached the forest, the wolf came out to meet her and said. When Little Red Riding Hood reached the forest, the wolf came out to meet her and said. Good morning, where are you going so early, Little Red Riding Hood? Good morning, where are you going so early, Little Red Riding Hood? The wolf seemed friendly.
Hello,
She said. The wolf seemed friendly.
hello.
She said.
I am going to my grandmother's house, and I am in a hurry. I am going to my grandmother's house, and I am in a hurry.
And what are you carrying in your basket? And what are you carrying in your basket.
Cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day. Cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day. So, my poor sick grandmother is going to have something good to make her stronger. So, my poor sick grandmother is going to have something good to make her stronger.
Where does your grandmother live? Where does your grandmother live?
Her house is under the 3 large oak trees. Her house is under the 3 large oak trees.
The wolf thought to himself. The wolf thought to himself. What a tender and young creature. What a tender and young creature. What a nice mouthful, and she will be tastier than that old woman. What a nice mouthful, and she will be tastier than that old woman. If I hurry, I'll eat very well today. If I hurry, I'll eat very well today. The wolf wanted to get to grandmother's house before Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf wanted to get to grandmother's house before Little Red Riding Hood. So, he walked for a little while with Little Red Riding Hood and then said to her. So, he walked for a little while with Little Red Riding Hood and then said to her. Look at all these beautiful flowers growing in the forest. Look at all these beautiful flowers growing in the forest. Why don't you pick some for your grandmother? Why don't you pick some for your grandmother? Little Red Riding Hood raised her eyes. Little Red Riding Hood raised her eyes. And when she saw the sunbeams dancing here and there between the trees, she thought. And when she saw the sunbeams dancing here and there between the trees, she thought.
I suppose I could take some of these fresh flowers to my grandmother. I suppose I could take some of these fresh flowers to my grandmother. Good idea,
said Little Red Riding Hood.
Good idea,
said Little Red Riding Hood. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door.
Who's there?
asked the grandmother from the bed.
Who's there?
asked the grandmother from the bed. It's me, Grandma, answered the wolf, imitating the voice of Little Red Riding Hood. It's me, Grandma, answered the wolf, imitating the voice of Little Red Riding Hood. Open the door, please. Open the door, please.
Push the door, it is not locked.
Called out the grandmother.
Push the door, it is not locked.
Called out the grandmother.
I'm very weak and I can't get up. I'm very weak and I can't get up.
The wolf opened the door. The wolf opened the door. And without saying a word, he went straight to the grandmother's bed. And without saying a word, he went straight to the grandmother's bed. And ate her up, in one bite. And ate her up, in one bite. And then, he put on her clothes, got into her bed, and drew the curtains. And then, he put on her clothes, got into her bed, and drew the curtains. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood, holding a beautiful bouquet of flowers. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood, holding a beautiful bouquet of flowers, arrived at the little house, beneath the 3 oaks. Arrived at the little house, beneath the 3 oaks. She was surprised to find the door open, and she went into the bedroom. She was surprised to find the door open, and she went into the bedroom. Her grandmother looked very strange. Her grandmother looked very strange. She called out,
Good morning.
but there was no answer. She called out,
Good morning.
but there was no answer.
Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have.
She said,
Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have.
she said. The better to hear you with, my darling, was the reply. The better to hear you with, my darling, was the reply.
But, Grandma, what big eyes you have.
She said.
But, Grandma, what big eyes you have.
She said. The better to see you with, my dear little granddaughter. The better to see you with, my dear little granddaughter.
Grandma, what big arms you have. Grandma, what big arms you have.
The better to hug you with, said the wolf. The better to hug you with, said the wolf.
And, what a big nose you have. And, what a big nose you have.
The better to smell you with. The better to smell you with.
Grandma, what a big mouth you have.
Said Little Red Riding Hood, very frightened.
Grandma, what a big mouth you have.
Said Little Red Riding Hood, very frightened. The better to eat you with. The better to eat you with. The wolf jumped out of the bed and swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood too. The wolf jumped out of the bed and swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood too. Then, the wolf decided to take a nap. He lay down in the bed and began to snore. Then, the wolf decided to take a nap. He lay down in the bed and began to snore. A hunter was alerted by snoring and approached the house. A hunter was alerted by snoring and approached the house. And he thought,
How the old woman is snoring.
and he thought,
How the old woman is snoring. I'll see if she needs any help. I'll see if she needs any help.
So he went into the bedroom, and when he approached the bed, he saw the wolf lying there. So he went into the bedroom, and when he approached the bed, he saw the wolf lying there.
So here I find you, you old sinner.
He said,
So here I find you, you old sinner.
he said,
I have been looking for you a long time. I have been looking for you a long time.
and he was just about to fire his weapon at him. And he was just about to fire his weapon at him, when it occurred to him that the wolf might have devoured the old woman. When it occurred to him that the wolf might have devoured the old woman, and that she still might be rescued. And that she still might be rescued. He took a pair of scissors, and began to cut open the belly of the sleeping wolf. He took a pair of scissors, and began to cut open the belly of the sleeping wolf. When he had made 2 snips, he saw a red cap shining. When he had made 2 snips, he saw a red cap shining. And then, he made 2 snips more, and the little girl sprang out, crying. And then, he made 2 snips more, and the little girl sprang out, crying.
I was so frightened. How dark it was inside the wolf. I was so frightened. How dark it was inside the wolf.
And then, the grandmother came out as well, alive, but hardly able to breathe. And then, the grandmother came out as well, alive, but hardly able to breathe. Little Red Riding Hood fetched many stones, with which they filled the wolf's belly. Little Red Riding Hood fetched many stones, with which they filled the wolf's belly. And then, they sewed it up. And then, they sewed it up. When the wolf woke up, wanted to run, and go away. When the wolf woke up, wanted to run, and go away. But the stones were so heavy, that he immediately fell down dead. But the stones were so heavy, that he immediately fell down dead. The hunter drew off the wolf's skin, and took it home. The hunter drew off the wolf's skin, and took it home. The grandma ate the cake, and drank the wine, and revived. The grandma ate the cake, and drank the wine, and revived. Little Red Riding Hood told her grandmother what had happened. Little Red Riding Hood told her grandmother what had happened.
I went off the path to pick you some flowers. I went off the path to pick you some flowers.
I think you learned your lesson,
said her grandmother.
I think you learned your lesson,
said her grandmother.
I am just glad we are both safe. I am just glad we are both safe.
And ever since that day, Little Red Riding Hood always remembers her mother's advice. And ever since that day, Little Red Riding Hood always remembers her mother's advice. And never strays from the path or stops to talk to anyone. And never strays from the path or stops to talk to anyone. When she goes to visit her grandmother. When she goes to visit her grandmother.